Should you script, plan, and do pre-production on your YouTube vlogs? Now, this is something I thought about a lot when I first started out picking up a camera and making YouTube videos. I wasn't sure. Am I supposed to plan out everything I'm supposed to say, have a full storyboard, script out everything from start to finish? And depending on who you ask, you might get a different answer. If you ask a very traditional filmmaker, they'll probably tell you, yes, you definitely need to. For any sort of video production, you need to have an entire script, you need to have everything planned out, or else you're not gonna be able to make anything. But us as YouTube creators, I assume that if you're watching this video, that you wanna make YouTube videos, know that it's a little different. Like, it's really hard for me to script a vlog a week from now because I have no idea what I'm going to be doing a week from now. So in that way, how do I plan my videos to be able to tell a good story? So today, that's exactly what I wanted to dive into. And I'll be showing you guys all of this in Notion, which is actually what I use for basically planning everything in my life. The best way to describe my relationship with my Notion workspace would just be to call it like an extension of myself. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you to Notion for sponsoring this video. So just starting off, my general thoughts about planning out your vlogs. I think for the videos that I want to make, I want them to be as real and personal as possible, so I don't actually want to script everything because the story that I want to tell is my own personal journey. I just want to be able to tell that story in a creative way, so what that means for me is more so planning out the scenes and overall story before I head into the edit, and not so much scripting exactly what I'm going to say in every scene. So this right here is my Notion page for everything. This really is just an extension of myself, an extension of my brain, because everything that I need to do ever is here. And I'm not saying that just to glaze Notion because they sponsored this video. I genuinely do not think that I could be half as productive without a system like this in my life. So before we get into pre-production, just doing a quick run through of what my actual Notion looks like and how I use this. The first thing here are my goals, which I just like to have at the very top so that I'm constantly reminded of what I'm working towards. Moving down, time and weather. I don't have a car, so I'm basically just always on foot walking places or taking public transport, so this weather is pretty important. I need to know if it's raining or snowing. Continuing this quick overview, I have like a daily, weekly planner where I basically just add tasks that I need to do day by day. A quick habit tracker, which as I complete the tasks throughout the day, it fills up. Pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie, I am super happy that I was able to figure this out and actually code this up as an engineering student. Grocery, shopping list, and on the other side are just some other notes of things I need to do. So I need to order my grad photos and also the LUT pack, which hopefully is out by now, by the way. If you're interested in color grading or you like the color in my videos, click the link in the description to join the newsletter, and you can also go check it out from there. So in terms of actually planning out my YouTube journey this year, this is where that happens, the YouTube 2025 tab. So pretty much on the left, I just have like a content calendar, and as you can see, I've only scheduled up to 2 or 3 weeks in advance just to keep myself on track. I try not to plan out things too far in advance because I also want to make sure that I'm creating the videos that I want to be creating, and that's just the way that I want to run my channel. I want it to be very personal and about what I'm actually doing day to day. And on the right here, I pretty much just have this board where I plan all my videos. So let's say I have an idea. I wake up in the middle of the night with this crazy video idea that I know will get 1 million views, but I just need to put it somewhere. I'll throw that into the idea bank. So what I'll do is basically duplicate this right here, which is just a very simple kind of template for getting an idea down. I'll change the title to whatever that crazy video idea is, and maybe just to make sure that when I wake up in the morning, everything still makes sense, I'll add a little bit of detail. So extra detail about the crazy video idea. From there, the video basically exists in the idea bank, and if I continue to have more thoughts about it and I realize that, hey, this could actually be a good video that I should work on, I'll drag it over to the pre-production phase where I actually go in and start filling out these boxes. And I'll go into the actual scripting, pre-production planning process in just a second, but I wanted to show you this entire workflow in Notion first. So let's say I'm actually done planning this crazy video idea. What I'll do then is drag it into the filming tab. I try to only have 1 or 2 videos in the filming tab at once because I find any more I just get really mixed up on the different themes or whatever I'm working on. I can plan multiple videos in a week or edit multiple videos in a week, but filming, I just try and stick to 1 at a time, and once that's moved on to editing, that's when I'll start the next. So after a few days of shooting, once I'm comfortable with the amount of footage I've shot, I'll drag this over to the editing tab. And from here, there's not so much work in Notion that needs to be done. It's more of just a reminder, all right, this is what needs to happen first. And once that video is all done and I think I'm at a point where it's good to be uploaded, I'll throw it into pending. And pretty much the video will sit right here until it's uploaded. And once it's uploaded, I will just go in here, switch the tag to uploaded, and it disappears. My count went up, 34 uploads so far, and that is the entire process of this workflow in Notion. So as a fun little exercise today, let's go through and actually do the pre-production process for a fake video. So let's say that the crazy video idea I'm making is actually about me breaking my camera. I don't really know why the first thing I can think of right now is breaking my camera. Maybe it's because I'm staring at it and it's like mounted to the wall. I'm a little scared right now, but whatever. That's the idea we're going to use. Let's say that that is the central topic. So I'll write down just a few notes about that idea. So breaking my camera. So I also have to kind of decide what type of video it is. Is it a vlog of an experience that I'm going to experience, or is it a vlog of a retelling? What sort of video is it? So I assume that I wouldn't be planning to break my camera, so this would probably just be a vlog of something that I experienced of my camera accidentally breaking. So I would say vlog of an experience. And then I would also just add any additional info that I need to know when I'm making this video. So for example, if I actually needed to go buy a new camera in this video, I would probably just add some information like what store I'm going to go to, what camera I'm buying, when I'm going, things like that, just in here. Basically, just imagine this as like the rough work, the scrap work for everything you need to do to make this video come to life. And as you can see, the second half of this heading is video title, because on YouTube, having a good video is super important, but it's almost more important, unfortunately, to have a good video title and video thumbnail, because it doesn't matter how good your video is. You could be Steven Spielberg, you could be the next A24 artist, but if you have a bad thumbnail or a bad video title that has nothing to do with your project, people probably aren't going to click it and they will never end up seeing your work. I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just kind of how the platform works. And as a creator, you kind of just have to play the game. So in this section, accordingly, I'll also do a little brainstorm of what I think the video title will be. This is all happening before I even make the video. This also just makes it easier to actually create your video because you already know the central idea behind it. And if you know that the video title is something like breaking my camera, you know that pretty soon after you click on that video, they're going to want to see you breaking your camera, or else it's clickbait. So I think brainstorming and coming up with a title first before finishing your video is pretty important. Next is the portion of planning which actually has to do with the story. So what am I actually trying to tell in this video? So this is just another Notion gallery database, and what I basically do is I just make a new page for every scene or act that I imagine my video would have. So I imagine this video would definitely have some sort of intro where I break my camera. So the intro, usually under a minute long, would have to kind of address that. I would probably say something like intro, breaking my camera, where I'm basically just setting up the problem at hand. So after the intro, I'd probably have to go through and do a little bit of explaining on how I broke my camera. So this would just be like explanation, how I broke my camera. Maybe I'd say like I mounted it wrong. And then I'd continue this process just scene by scene, scripting out this video. And maybe some things are already filmed, that's okay, throw them in here. And maybe some things aren't, so I'll just flag that as something I need to go film. So for this fake video, let's just continue planning this out. So after I explain how it happened, I should probably have a section like reflecting. Maybe I could show like a cinematic montage of all the good times I had with that camera, the best footage. And the thing about brainstorming and planning a video in the beginning is you really just want to put as many ideas down as possible. Like, your first idea is not going to be your best idea, it's not going to be the winning one, but the most important part is that you need that first one to get to your winning one. So any ideas you have, any creative ideas, you just need to put them in here. Whether you think they'll work or not, just write them down for now. So if this were a full video, I'd probably have to end the reflection segment talking about how, okay, now I need to go purchase a new camera. So introduce the idea of purchasing, and that will directly lead me into the next scene where I actually go purchase new camera. Whatever I actually want to say in the segment and get across to you guys is what needs to go here, so that when I'm out shooting, I know I'm shooting the purchase new camera segment. All I have to do is pop this open and I'll see 2 points in this scenario of what I actually want to say. And this is just a mandatory for me. I always want to end my videos with a little bit of personal reflection. What are the learnings of this video, right? What is the key takeaway? I want viewers to be able to go through a journey with me. So what was the journey I did? Maybe I learned to take better care of my gear, or maybe I learned that you never really miss things until they're gone, something like that. Or maybe one of the video themes could be about like money and making videos, because cameras are very expensive. So whatever journey I actually went through that video and took the viewers along for, I do want to actually address that in the end, whether that's verbally like I'm talking to you guys right now, or have some subtitles, or just be able to drive that final feeling home through some good visuals, good music. There needs to be some sort of final value that the viewer gets out of watching your videos. So this is where I like to take care of that. So there you go. Now I have outlined these 6 scenes. I kind of have a rough idea of what this timeline would already look like if I were to make this video. But let's say I realize that I actually have footage of something that would work perfectly here, or I have a new idea of a scene that I'm missing here. And for example, let's say that that scene is me making the money to purchase my new camera. So I'll throw that here, making money to purchase new camera. And maybe in this segment, I talk about how I'm monetizing my videos. Maybe I'll talk about copyrighted music. So I think that this actually should go right about here. And if I were to look at the storyboard so far, I'd say that it's pretty complete in terms of a typical story arc. There might not be the full amount of detail in each page explaining exactly what shots I need to get, but in general, the story is there, which is really what I base all my videos around. I don't so much base it off of like, hey, I need to get this camera angle. or I need to figure out a way to incorporate this shot into this. It's more so, here's the story that I want to chase. What shots should I use to tell that story? So now that you guys have seen what this process looks like for me for a fake theoretical video of me breaking my camera, I want to show you guys something that I've actually made. So this is the page I used to plan my first upload for 2025, and you can see I titled it Reflection, Day 1 of Getting My Engineering Degree. I think in the end I ended up using something like Getting My Life Together, but I used this method in general. So first of all, I started with the video title and idea, and the idea behind the video was that I wanted to reintroduce myself and what I was planning on working on in 2025. So really just a reintroduction of my current life to my audience. Moving on to the storyboard, there were really only 5 scenes that I used in that video. And you can see that the first scene was me clearing out my email. So I wrote out what I wanted to say in my narration, basically right here. I obviously changed it up when recording because I wanted it to sound just a bit more natural, but I quickly just wrote some notes here of what I wanted to say, as well as maybe some of the shots I would have wanted and the pacing. So I also state that I want music to be used here. So that's just telling me, like, after the narration, cut the narration, play the music. And this is what that scene actually ended up looking like. So I do the same thing for all the other sections where I basically just write down what was on my mind. You can see that I'm basically just leaving notes for myself in these little breadcrumbs so that when I go in and read this when I'm out shooting, I know exactly the feeling I had when I wrote it down and what I'm trying to convey to the viewer. And down here, if I uncheck all of these things, you can see that I basically just made notes for myself. So film, laptop, cinematic for cleaning the inbox. I wanted to do it at the desk upstairs. Scrolling down a bit more here, I just have a video that I took a lot of inspiration from, not directly as in the shots, but the overall vibe I wanted to present in my video. So this is actually from my friend David. He makes amazing stuff. You guys should definitely check him out. But I set this as a reference piece for myself so that I could just kind of get a feeling of the overall theme and the vibe that I wanted to give off in the video. So you can see that even such a simple method that I've set up for myself, where it's really just brainstorming ideas and getting a storyline together, can still be so effective and quite complex if you really dive into it and really want to script out everything you say. Just some final notes here. I wanted to say that I don't actually script out everything I want to say, but sometimes I make more serious videos where I just don't want to fumble my words, so I will write out exactly what I say. For example, narrations are not as casual as vlogging and like talking to you guys like this, so I will actually write out what I want to get across just to make sure I'm hitting the points correctly. But other than setting up the scenes, I try and really just let life flow naturally in my videos. So for example, if I know I want to film a scene of me going out for dinner with my friends, I don't really script what's going to happen at the dinner. I don't script that at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to say this and my friend's going to say this. I don't script that because I want my videos to be real, which they are. I just say in my notes that I'm going to film this dinner and it'll be a part of this video. Sometimes you don't really know how it'll fit in, but it's more so of a reminder for me to bring my camera and actually just remember, hey, I need to film this because I said I would, and it's going to go into a video. Don't try and push and fake a moment. Just let things happen naturally and tell your story in your own voice. So let me know if you guys have any questions or I missed something about the way I plan my videos. When it comes to pre-production and planning out my vlogs, I really just try and focus on what I can. So that's telling a good story. I want to have a good idea before I start making anything, before I start editing or even shooting, of what I want the final product to look like. So if that all seemed pretty cool and useful to you guys and you want to check out Notion, I'll have them linked in the description. My entire Life 2025 template, as well as the video production template, should all be in there. Notion has been super helpful for me in terms of productivity over the last few years. And even in this long video, I've only been able to show you guys the very tip of the iceberg of what Notion is actually capable of. And I'm actually shocked that people just don't use it for everything because it's completely free to start. So I hope that you guys found this helpful, and thank you to Notion for sponsoring this video. Good luck with creating, and I hope that everyone achieves whatever goals they have set out for themselves in 2025.